Good afternoon. Happy Father's Day to my dad, Mr. James Reese Jr., to my husband, Mr. Vincent Willis, and all the dads that are out there, including my uncles who I might not have gotten a chance to speak to today. Happy Father's Day to all dads that are out there. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Dr. Celeste. I'm your board-certified family medicine physician. I help busy professionals to find solutions for their acute and chronic medical needs. I do this through my virtual or online medicine program, through my concierge program, doing national speaking, as well as through my Amazon best-selling book Vitality. So good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Let's Chat. We're logging on today. Happy Father's Day to everybody. We thought that we'd give you a few tips, 6 tips actually, on how we can help to keep dad healthy. I thought what we'd do today is share some of the things and some of the tips that I share with my own dad in an effort to try and help him to stay healthy, because I want him to be around for a very long time. This has been such a very strong instrumental part, playing an instrumental role in my life and where God has allowed me to be at this point. So sharing those 6 tips with you though about how we're going to help keep dad healthy. So this week, the week leading up to Father's Day, is National Men's Health Week. And so during this week, what we try to do is encourage men to be healthier. You know, they need our help. They need all of us to help them do this, whether it's your dad, whether it's your grandfather, whether it's your uncle, whether it's your brother, whether it's your son, or whether it's a friend. They all need our encouragement for them to lead healthier lives. The leading cause of death in men, there are 2 leading causes of death in men at about a 20 to 22%. And that is heart disease, number 1, and then secondly, cancer. So we're going to give you 3 tips for each of these for us to try and remind dad, or things that we can help make sure that we follow with our own dad to help keep them healthy. So let's talk about cancer. The 3 top leading causes of death by cancer in men are lung cancer, prostate cancer, and colorectal cancer. Now, for 2 of these, we actually have screening tests that we recommend that every man have at a certain age. What that specific age is for your specific father, grandfather, son, uncle, whomever, depends on what their family history is. So I'm going to give you some guidelines, but these may vary a little bit depending on what their history is and what their family history is. So number 1 leading cause of cancer death in men is lung cancer. Now, unequivocally, smoking has been directly related to be the number 1 cause of lung cancer. So having your dad not start smoking is the best way to help keep dad healthy. If dad is already a smoker, we want to encourage him to stop, because at any point at which he stops smoking, he helps to decrease the risk of having lung cancer. And by the way, smoking actually increases your risk of other cancers as well. So him stopping to smoke helps to decrease that risk from the moment he makes that decision and stopping. So we want to encourage him in a loving way to stop smoking, just by reminding him, hey dad, we want you to be around for a while. There are different programs that you can enter about helping you to stop smoking. There's also medications that we actually prescribe to help people stop smoking. So see your physician for that, or encourage dad rather to see his physician for that. If you are a dad, uncle, grandfather that's watching, then I encourage you to speak with your physician about that, because there are different modalities that we have today that can help you with this effort. So number 2, prostate cancer. In general, the CDC recommends that every man at the age of 50 years old minimum start his screening for prostate cancer. We screen for prostate cancer doing a blood test that's called a prostate-specific antigen. It's a blood test, as well as a digital rectal exam. Now, whether or not you need both these tests, either one, you have to speak with your physician about that. We in general like for you to have both the blood test as well as a digital rectal exam. If you are an African American man, we actually want you to start screening sooner than that, as early as 45 years old. If you have family history of prostate cancer, guess what? We want you to screen even earlier than that, as early as 40 years old. There's been a direct correlation that African American men suffer with prostate cancer at a greater percentage of rates than other cultures. So we want to encourage dad to make sure he's seeing his physician regularly to have that screening and have that test done. Thirdly, colorectal cancer. The screening for colorectal cancer is via colonoscopy. General recommendation by the CDC is for everyone to have a colonoscopy once they reach the age of 50 years old. Now, You actually may need that earlier depending on what your family history is. If you have family history of colorectal cancer, we definitely want to start screening you a lot sooner than 50 years old. As much as 10 years older than the youngest relative that you have that may have had colorectal cancer. So you want to make sure that you speak with your physician about that, especially if you have family history of colorectal cancer. So that covers the top 3 kinds of cancer-causing death in men. Now let's talk about this number 1 leading cause of death in men, heart disease. 3 different tips we want to share with you here that are directly related to heart disease. First of all, we need to know our numbers. You hear us saying that all the time. We need to know our numbers, One of the most important numbers that we can know is our cholesterol levels. That is so important. At minimum, we start screening your cholesterol levels at the age of 35 years old. If you have other risk factors, we actually start a little earlier than that. So if you have risk factors, and let's talk about some of those. If you have diabetes, we definitely screen your cholesterol levels with every visit, typically, that we do blood work with someone that is diabetic. If you have high blood pressure, that puts you at an increased risk for having high cholesterol. So at the moment that you're diagnosed with high blood pressure, we generally will give a lab test to see where your cholesterol levels are to see if it's something that we need to address. Very important to address because cholesterol can play a role in clogging up the blood vessel because you have high cholesterol levels circulating through your bloodstream. So we want to make sure that those cholesterol levels keep low to decrease the risk of heart disease. Third risk, if you are a smoker, you are at increased risk for having high cholesterol. So we might screen you at the moment that we know that you're a smoker, which could be a lot earlier than the age of 35 years old. Now, other risk factors include obesity and family history of heart disease. If you are overweight and or if you have family history of heart disease, we definitely want to know what your cholesterol levels are because we know there's a direct correlation in having elevated cholesterol levels and having heart disease, and helping to keep that cholesterol level low is what's going to help decrease the risk of forming a plaque or a blockage that's formed by cholesterol particles, and this is what helps to form the blockages that result in heart disease or someone having a heart attack. So knowing these numbers is very important. Second number we need to know, our blood pressure. We need to know what our blood pressure readings are. I can't say this enough, guys. 1/3 of people that have hypertension have no idea that they have it. Hypertension is known to be, we call it the silent killer, and that is because it can cause things like heart attacks and strokes in patients, and they don't even know that they have an elevated blood pressure. So what can we do about that? Encourage our dads, encourage our grandfathers, uncles, sons, friends to make sure that they're staying on top of knowing what their numbers are and getting their blood pressure checked on a regular basis, especially if you have family history. They recommend that CDC recommends that you get your blood pressure checked at least every 2 years. I personally recommend that you actually monitor it more often than that. I would say at least once a year. Most of us go by the doctor or have some kind of clinic visit wherein we have to be seen. Very good to keep a record of, okay, what is my blood pressure running? If you get an elevated reading, if you ever visit a clinic and the reading is elevated, you want to make sure that you follow up very quickly within a couple of days to have it rechecked. Sometimes when we're sick, it can make our blood pressure be elevated, and it not be a true case of hypertension. But we need to monitor to make sure that we know, hey, do we have hypertension? Do we not? So monitoring that blood pressure on a regular basis, I cannot impress upon you enough how important that is, especially when you have family history, and especially if you are obese, and especially if you do not exercise. Now, third risk factor for heart disease, what we want to make sure we watch out for dad, diabetes. Another 1/3 of people that have diabetes, ladies and gentlemen, do not know that they have it. In addition to that, 1 in 5 teenagers today are being diagnosed with pre-diabetes. Pre-diabetes is that period of time right before you fall into an official diagnosis of diabetes. The level of obesity in kids is directly related to this. Why am I mentioning this now? Because there's so many kids at an alarming number that are young men that are being diagnosed with diabetes at younger ages. So this is something that we need to pay attention to and attack when they're at a younger age. And if you have a child and or a brother or a young relative that gets this diagnosis, very important for us to stay on top of that and knowing the numbers. If you have hypertension, or you are obese, or you have increased cholesterol, you actually need screening for diabetes annually at minimum, and on a more frequent basis if you have weight fluctuation or changes. So again, that's all we had to share with you today, ladies and gentlemen, just trying to bring some awareness on how we can help keep Dad healthy. Again, the two leading causes of death in men are heart disease and cancer. And we touched on high cholesterol, hypertension, and diabetes, how important it is to monitor these, know these numbers. Let's help remind them if they get an elevated number. We want to make sure that we put a reminder in your phone. Hey, you know what? Dad has that appointment to see his regular doctor and get his labs checked on September the 1st. Put a reminder in your phone for a week prior so you can help to remind Dad, and so that you can help to follow up with him and say, hey, how did that visit go? To stay on top of it. Any kind of little reminder that we can be will help them keep things under control, and also let them know, hey, I'm paying attention, I love you, I want you to do well, and we want to help keep Dad healthy. Again, the top three leading causes of cancer death in men: lung cancer, prostate cancer, and colorectal cancer. We want to make sure that we keep those screenings in mind. So that's all we had to share with you, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for logging on. Happy Father's Day to all the fathers that are out there. Hi, Miss Black. Thank you for taking time to tune in. Hi, Ravia. Happy Father's Day, Sean. That's my brother-in-law in Florida. Hi, Miss Meadows. Hi, Pastor Walker. Happy Father's Day. Let's see who else we had to log in. Hi, Dr. Rita, our cycle doc. Hi, Dr. Rita. Thanks for joining. I'm sure she will agree about the exercise portion of that and these screenings that we talked about. Hi, Miss Wilson. Hi, Miss Jones. And hi, Miss Shorts. Thank you so much for taking time out to log on today. If this information has been helpful for you, I would encourage you to become a member of our Facebook group called The Lively Ones. You can send us a request and go ahead and join there. We're going to be sharing some information on how we can help keep everyone healthy on a more frequent basis. It's a little more personalized of a group that we'll be dropping information there more frequently though. I hope everyone has a happy Father's Day. Love on your dad. Check on your dad. I know that we're still dealing with two pandemics that we're dealing with right now. There's civil unrest. With the pandemic that we're dealing with racism, in addition to that, the pandemic that we're dealing with COVID-19. So check on your dad, make sure that he's loved and not feeling isolated, and that he's making steps to make sure that he stays protected. I know it was great to be able to see my dad this weekend. I hope that everyone has a great day, and thank you so much, Pastor Walker, for praying for my protection. I appreciate that as we go out and help to try and touch lives in medicine. So thank you guys so much. Again, I'm Dr. Celeste. I'm your board-certified family medicine physician. I am also a national speaker and Amazon best-selling author. I help busy professionals to find solutions for their acute and chronic medical needs through my concierge medicine program, as well as my online virtual medicine program. You can make an appointment with me. The website is in the chat. Other than that, everybody have a great day and love on your dad today. Bye-bye.